Hey guys, what is up? RedPandaMining here. How you guys all doing? I hope you're all doing well and having a great day. In this video, I would like to talk about rich lists. And specifically, what I mean by rich list is the top addresses that hold a lot of coins. The reasoning I'm making this video, and hopefully it'll help some newcomers, is just to give some perspective and understanding on the distribution of certain coins. So I'm going to go through a bunch of coins and we'll look at how well distributed the coins are. So example, Bitcoin. I'm on the bitinfocharts.com and they have a couple of rich lists here: Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, Litecoin, Dash, and so on. But we're just going to look at a few here. So Bitcoin, for example. Between 100,000 to 1 million Bitcoin, okay, you can see here there's only 2 addresses that contain between that much Bitcoin, and so on. There's a bunch of tiers here. So from 10,000 to 100,000, and then 1,000 Bitcoin to 10,000, and then 100 to 1,000 Bitcoin. And as you can see, when you look down the address list here, the address number, so it gets higher and higher because as you have less and less Bitcoin, it's obviously harder. It's harder to accumulate that much Bitcoin, right? And these addresses, it says, you know, for example, from 10,000 to 100,000 Bitcoin, there's only 110 addresses. So potentially that could be 110 different people, but it could also be, you know, exchanges or people who divide their Bitcoin into multiple accounts. This number here, we don't know exactly, but we can just take a guesstimate of, you know, how many people own, you know, how much Bitcoin. Like example, from 1 to 10 Bitcoin, there's 581,812 addresses. So give or take, we can say there's 580,000 people that own between 1 and 10 Bitcoin. Okay, and then I want to explain the other percentages here, the metrics that are really important. Is the percentage of coins total in terms of how much Bitcoin is owned by these addresses. So for example, there's 2 addresses that own between 100,000 to 1 million, right? And those 2 addresses total owned about 1.26% of the total Bitcoin, of all of the Bitcoin in circulation right now. So, and then from 10,000 to 100,000, you know, it shows here 15% of the Bitcoin network is between that many people or addresses, 110. So it just shows, it really shows the distribution and gives you guys, I hope it gives you guys some perspective of the wealth that's been distributed. And the amount of, like I can say here, from these addresses, 1,890 plus 110 plus 2, you know, so give or take 2,000 people. If I add these together, own about 30, 25, 40, 42, I would say about 42%. 2,000 people, give or take, own 40%, 42% of the total Bitcoin. So that's kind of interesting to think about and look at. So if you scroll down a bit lower, you'll see the top 100 addresses, Bitcoin addresses, and you can see that Bittrex and Bitstamp hold most of the Bitcoin. So 120,805 Bitcoin for Bittrex and 102,000 for Bitstamp. I heard there's something going on with Bittrex, that US or American people cannot use their exchange anymore. So just be careful of that. So yeah, guys. And then there's a bunch of other addresses I wanted to point out. There's a bunch of addresses that haven't been used since 2011. Okay, so interesting here, 2011. I think this is May 3rd. Yeah, May 3rd or something. It says 10,000 Bitcoin in each of these addresses. It's just interesting. I wonder whose addresses those would be, or maybe somebody forgot about them or something. But yeah, it's really cool to see how much Bitcoin is distributed, guys. Okay, so let's go to the next rich list here. I hope this is cool for you guys. I find this pretty interesting. That's why I wanted to make a video on it. So let's look at Ethereum. Okay, so there's 106,000-ish Ethereum in circulation. And you can see here, I'm on etherscan.io. They don't have a bitinfochart.com, so this one's not as, doesn't have as many metrics as bitinfocharts, but it still gives you a good perspective of the overall distribution. So, example, there's a couple addresses here that are already labeled. So there's like Bitfinex, Binance, Kraken, Bittrex, Gemini, Huobi, Kraken. So I'm gonna assume most of these top ones are exchanges. Just like with Bitcoin, right? Just like with Bitcoin, there's a bunch of addresses. So now I can't really tell the percentage of how many own most of the Ethereum, but I can see here about, oh, did I say 106,000? I meant 106 million Ethereum. Okay, I screwed that up. So example, Bitfinex owns 1.6 million Ethereum out of the 106. So the percentage of that, right, for them is 1.57% of the total Ethereum. So yeah, just gives a interesting look there. And then as we go down, people have 460,000. There's more like DigitDAO, Multisig wallet, ETHDev developers have a wallet. And yeah, and there's some unknown ones here. I'm not sure if they're unknown or they just haven't been touched for a while. Yeah, so it looks, I think Ethereum in my eyes is pretty well distributed in terms of, I know that a lot of people mine Ethereum, and so there's going to be a whole bunch of, it shows it doesn't give me the exact amount of Ethereum wallets, but it looks like, let's see here. Oh no, there is. Okay, so on etherscan.io, it'll show there's about 66 million different Ethereum addresses. So wow, that's quite a bit. I think that's pretty well distributed. And I see here there's a bunch of Ethereum addresses that has 150k Ether that hasn't been touched for a while. Looks like they've just been sitting. Let's just click on one and see here. 184 days. Okay, 184 days. I have a feeling these could be like exchanges that distributed them into multiple wallets. Who knows? I'm not sure. Okay, let's go to the next one, guys. I want to show you guys Monero. Oh, wait a second. I can't show you Monero. Monero is 100% private and private, untraceable, and secure, you guys. I typed in Google Monero rich list, and it came up with Monero is fundamentally private. Really, it is. It says, come on, man, really? So this is from moneroblocks.info/rich list, and it's a pretty funny thing. But yeah, we can't see with Monero. You can't see because it's a privacy coin, so we can't tell who has how much Monero on each address. Okay, and guys, the next one I want to look at is Litecoin. And in terms of Litecoin distribution, I'm going to say it's really not well distributed because in my eyes, you can see here, 40% of the total percentage of Litecoin is owned by 108 addresses, okay? 108 addresses, or potentially, 100-ish people own 40% of the Litecoin network, okay? Now, I don't think I'm gonna get to the last part, the last word. I'm trying to get a conclusion here. But the reason why I say it's kind of worrisome for me, in my eyes, I don't know, is just because of black swan events. And if you guys don't know what a black swan event means, it just means a event or occurrence that deviates beyond what is normally expected of a situation and is extremely difficult to predict. Black swan events are typically random and unexpected. So with my thinking with Litecoin, that 40% of the coins is owned by such a few amount of people, that maybe one of those people could potentially, have a huge sell-off somewhere on an exchange or something and just tank the market, right? I mean, that's not only to do with Litecoin as well. That also means with all the other coins, Bitcoin, Ethereum, the people that own a lot of the Bitcoin or Ethereum can do a black swan event as well, could do a huge sell-off, or a bunch of other things too, right? And like Bitcoin Cash, for example, Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin SV, I don't know if Roger Ver and Craig Wright own a bunch of their own coin. I'm just kind of conspiracizing here. They could potentially do some kind of black swan event. I don't know. I'm just theorizing here. It's like people that own a lot of the coin. So you can see with Bitcoin SV, Craig Wright, there's 7 addresses that own between 100,000 to 1 million. Bitcoin SV, and about 5.66% of the total coins. But then the next step, which could be, those people could cut their coins in half, which we've seen a bunch of addresses that have, 50,000. Example, Bitcoin SV has 50,000, 50,000, 50,000 that haven't been touched for a while. And who knows, right? Who knows what could happen? And Vertcoin, one of my favorite projects. I was gonna say this. Vertcoin looks pretty well distributed, in my opinion. Litecoin is pretty 40%. That's quite high. And then another coin I wanted to show you guys. One of my favorites is Aeon. So with Aeon, you guys can see here, it's not really a full-fledged rich list like the Bitcoin rich list, but you can see here there is a couple of accounts here that own pretty much, these top 2 accounts own 50% of the Aeon, and I think these are exchanges, whether that be Binance or some other top exchange that Aeon, the Aeon market, for the Aeon markets. These could all very well be exchanges, but I'm not sure. But otherwise, Aeon is pretty well distributed. You can see how much Aeon is owned here, on each address. And there's really not very many people into Aeon. So it's still, I think, a coin that could still grow and people could still get into. And then another coin, guys, lastly, I'm going to end off with is Ravencoin. Ravencoin right now is on a rise. It's pretty profitable, and in terms of distribution, you can see here 10 million USD. There's 3 addresses that own $10 million worth of Ravencoin, and then on the $1 million tier, there's 20 addresses. $100,000 tier, there's 162. $10,000 tier, there's 1,481, and the $1,000 USD tier, there's 11,000 addresses distributed. So looking at this, you can see there's a bunch of addresses that have a lot of coin. I'm gonna guess these are exchanges. This first one, top number 1, has 1 billion Ravencoin. Oh, smoke! Run 1 billion. That's a lot. And one funny thing I want to note is there's a address here, number 49. It looks like this is its own address. You can see here, it's mining blocks. It's mining blocks, and this is the first one, number 49, that shows this one has mined 56,144 mined blocks. As of making this video, and it has roughly 6.4 million Ravencoin on their address. So this could be one person. I'm pretty sure this is probably one person mining just Ravencoin exclusively since the very beginning. I'm not sure if in the very beginning or not, but yeah, it looks like a lot of hash power is going to it. And actually, now that I'm looking at it, I think it's actually a mining pool. Yes. Okay, this is a mining pool because it looks like they've sent a lot of Ravencoin out, and this final balance maybe could be the pool's hot wallet or regular wallet or something. So yeah, okay, so that makes sense. That could be a pool. So there could be a bunch of other Ravencoin mine blocks. Yeah, so there's another one here. Yeah, it looks like this is another mining pool as well. I'm gonna assume. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys. Let me know in the comments. Okay, so that's the end of the video, guys. I just wanted to give you guys some perspective, or maybe some thinking, some thoughts of the distribution of coins, just to give you guys some just to think about it. Okay, guys, let me know what you think down below. I appreciate all you guys who watch me day in and day out. And please smash that like button, all that good stuff. Please subscribe, click the little bell so you get a notification when I release a video. And I release a video every day, guys. So thanks so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.